Welcome to Key Trends Spot, your daily dose of what's hot, what's viral, and what's next. From K-pop to culture, we spot the trends so you don't miss a beat. It all started with a whisper, a moment of silence that quickly turned into a storm. The world was waiting with open arms, hoping for the day beats would stand together once again. But instead of reunion, Jungkook's unexpected statement brought more questions than answers. Was this really the end of the dream ARMY had held onto for years? In a calm but deeply emotional interview, Jungkook finally broke his silence. His voice, though soft, carried the weight of something bigger. "Not everything can go back to the way it used to be," he said, pausing before the words fully left his mouth. It was as if the sentence had been buried in his chest for too long. While fans were still trying to process Jungkook's confession, Taehyung quietly returned from military leave. No press, no fanfare, no cheerful post. The airport photos showed a man lost in thought, eyes heavy with something more than just fatigue. He didn't smile. He didn't wave. And the internet noticed. Armies around the world began to panic. This was supposed to be a hopeful chapter. Instead, everything felt distant. Why did he return in silence? Where was the usual warmth, the celebration, the connection to fans? Questions piled up with no answers in sight. To make it more confusing, HYBE chose to remain quiet. No clarification, no statement. Nothing to calm the storm. And in the world of BTS, where transparency was often praised, this silence spoke louder than words. In that same interview, Jungkook didn't speak as a superstar. He spoke as a human being. He looked tired. Not physically, but emotionally. "We've changed," he said. "We're walking different paths. We can't always return to the past, even if we want to." For a fandom used to unity, these words felt like heartbreak. Online platforms exploded with speculation. Was this the end? Had something happened between the members? Was there a fight? Was the promise of reunion just an illusion? But the most alarming part was when Jungkook said, "Tae knows. We once talked, but not everyone is ready to hear the truth." That sentence echoed like a hidden message, a signal that something unspoken was sitting between them. Jungkook and Taehyung, known for their close bond, suddenly felt miles apart. Tae, once expressive and warm, had vanished into quiet. No Instagram stories, no lives, no mentions of his brothers. It felt like a void. Rumors began to swirl. Some insiders claimed tensions started rising in mid-2023, not because of hatred, but due to growing differences in dreams and directions. Jungkook, they said, was leaning into a global solo career. Taehyung, meanwhile, was embracing acting and art. Suga and Yeom pursued their own creative experiments. Jimin and Jin balanced expectations with personal battles. It wasn't chaos. It was growing up, but that didn't stop people from imagining the worst. Jungkook's words triggered a global frenzy. Was he warning us? Was he tired of pretending everything was fine? And why now, after months of silence, did he choose to speak? When reporters asked HYBE for a response, the agency simply said, "We are supporting individual activities." A vague answer. Too vague for a storm this big. Some believed Jungkook had finally decided to step out of the scripted world, revealing a side long hidden. And maybe, just maybe, Taehyung's quiet return was his own form of silent protest, his own way of saying, "I'm not ready to pretend either." Photos of Tae at the airport showed something else too, his missing BTS friendship ring. Once worn with pride, now nowhere in sight. Was it just an oversight or a deliberate message? BTS's social media stayed active, but felt disconnected. Each member walked alone. The group presence that once screamed unity now whispered solitude. Fans watched in silence, unsure what to believe. Taehyung, once known for his artistry on Instagram, had gone completely dark. No posts, no hints, nothing. People started to ask, was the reunion still real or just a comforting myth? Experts began to weigh in. Some said BTS would return, but not in the same form. Not as the youthful boy band of yesterday, but as seasoned artists with new roles and rhythms. And maybe, just maybe, that wasn't a bad thing. Still, for ARMY, the grief was real. It wasn't just about losing a group, it was about losing a part of themselves. Fans mourned, prayed, wrote letters. Some even petitioned for more transparency from HYBE. Amid all the emotion, the truth was this. There was no official confirmation of a breakup, a feud, or the end of BTS. The drama was fueled by assumptions, cut-up quotes, and emotional interpretations. Jungkook's words, when seen in full, were about growth and time, not a goodbye. And Taehyung's silent return? Simply his way of easing back into the world, not a sign of internal disaster. HYBE, though quiet, has never said BTS wouldn't return. In fact, they've reiterated support for both individual and future group activities. Some member meetups still happen, just off camera. Not every moment is captured, and not every silence means distance. Healing, reflection, and change often happen away from the spotlight. And while fans worry, the members still show quiet signs of connection. Jungkook and Taehyung still follow each other, still like posts, still show up at private events. The bond remains. BTS has spent more than a decade together. They've grown, clashed, healed, and evolved. This phase isn't a breakdown, it's a transition. And transitions, while scary, often lead to something stronger. Fans must remember, loving BTS also means trusting their journey. Even when the path looks uncertain, they've always kept their promises. And the biggest one? We will return. So hold on to that. Not every silence is sorrow. Not every change is a goodbye. And not every pause means the end. Sometimes it means something beautiful is on its way, because in RM's words, time will pass, but BTS will remain. And for ARMY, that's more than a quote. It's a promise written in stars, one that still shines in every heart around the world.
paid with blood or some sort of pain. You caused a permanent stain which has determined your fate. I've never seen so clear, I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here, the sound of deafening fear.
You gon' die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble. K-N-I-F-E, right in your side, you will never see me coming. You gon' die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble. K-N-I-F-E, right in your side, you will never see me
My
coming.
energy is next level, so damn you better be careful. I got an angel and devil, he stabs me straight in the temple. I'm ready to be a rebel, I've got a lot of potential hidden inside of this vessel. That shit is so exponential. I need a first class ticket to the top, no limit. I don't play no gimmicks, I'ma take you to the clinic. If you want a taste, come at me and you will be replaced. They won't find a trace of you anywhere or any place.
You gon' die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble. K-N-I-F-E, right in your side, you will never see me coming. You gon' die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble. K-N-I-F-E, right in your side, you